Hello everybody and welcome to Metal World channel. Today we have with us Mr. Sham Arjun Wadkar. He is a 35 years experienced foundry entrepreneur. He is chairman of National Center for Technical Services promoted by Indian Institute of Foundrymen, and he is also on the board of National Institute of Forge and Foundry Technology in Ranchi. So welcome Mr. Arjun Wadkar to this show.
Well, thank you, sir.
And today it is said that technology is the driver of the industry. And with that respect only, we would like to have a conversation with Mr. Arjun Wadkar, as he is totally involved for the last 35 years in all the aspects of foundry, and especially for last few years in the technology part of the foundry. Mr. Arjun Wadkar, what you will say on this? Is the technology driver of the industry today?
Okay, of course, for current times, technology is a driver for everything, and foundry is not an exception to that. Uh, but only what we need to do is that we need to define the foundry. The foundry is a casting making process, and it is basically divided into 4 5 sub processes. Usually, they consider that molding, core making, melting, pouring, fettling, these are the processes. But I will like to start the foundry processes from the methoding itself. Methoding required for the job to be casted to the inspection or the conformance of that job. So if you see that totally there are 6 sub processes involved in the foundry, and we need to consider the technology advent or technology aspects at each and every sub process, and then total together we get a cast making process, and that will follow.
Yeah, and sir, especially what role do you see for technology in the foundry sector, especially in the on the backdrop of COVID-19?
Oh well, now there was a break for all the foundrymen. They must have given a thought what they were doing and what they need to do. In the process, they must have thought of and interacted with the advent of Google and all. They must have seen the modern technologies or latest what is available to them. So they will be very enthusiastic to apply whatever they have collected the knowledge in this recessionary period to put it on their own shop floor and take the benefit out of it. That's what I foresee, and I'm sure because foundrymen are always active, and they must have done this exercise, and they must be keen to exercise that as fast as possible on their own shop floors.
Okay, great, great. Sir, you have been chairman of Technical Center for, National Center for Technical Services by IIF.
Yeah.
What has been your activities and how you are helping the industry to absorb new technologies or new processes in their working?
Okay, that's a question very dear to my heart. Uh, at NCTS, we care for the practicing foundryman. That is a mandate what has been given to us by IIF. And yeah, when we see the practicing foundryman, that includes everybody, right from tool maker to every operation concerned to the foundry. Because usually foundrymen, they come to know the result after the casting is made, and they are worried that what is the results and how I can improvise on that. And they got a very limited choice to confirm themselves what right actions they need to take. And there where exactly we come in picture. We look forward to receive the queries from the foundrymen, whatever the operational queries they have, or whatever the ultimate queries about the end result what they have obtained, and we try to help them by giving them the technology references or by visiting them or providing them the reference materials so that ultimately their life is comfortable, their performance is more confident on the shop floor. That is the mandate, and we follow with that. And in fact, for that purpose, we have got a very good knowledge bank available with us. We have got around 1600 technology papers stored on our computer, and with the keywords we can retrieve to that, and we can disseminate that knowledge and references to the foundryman. And at the same time, we also make the reference materials of the various aspects of the technology for the foundry. Say right from core making, shell core, then your cold box course or say green sand technology, whatever you name the thing, and we have got the reference materials available with us, and still the process continues. Whatever is left out or whatever we thought of, which is needed, right from say the inoculation practices or to say the mold codes or everything we try to cover, and we produce the reference materials. Ideally, the reference materials are not like textbooks. There are notes available on these subjects, on few of the subjects, like high manganese steel or the pattern making and tooling, etc. But these reference materials for the processes what we have made, they are made by the practicing foundryman for the benefit of practicing foundryman. Uh, we say that we all contribute to that, and it has been reviewed. The opinions have been taken, and it's not only the textbook. It certainly gives the textbook theory at the same time how you can apply and the applied knowledge whatever needed into the foundryman, keeping in mind the user is a foundry professional working on the shop floor. He want to make the corrective actions on the on his problems, and make himself more comfortable when he is working on the shop, more confident when he is working on the shop. Absolutely, I mean it's not the reference material will not give him the easy solution, but certainly he will give him the thought or the logic how to improvise and get the solution. That I can take very confidently that these reference materials are tuned to that, and so many engineers are using those materials and they're getting benefited. Certainly, I'm sure of it.
One more question I wanted to ask you, sir, is about
Yeah.
digitization. How far has digitization penetrated in foundry industry? What is the present condition of foundries in the country as far as technology and especially digitization is concerned?
Okay. Uh, it's really really good question. I can say digitization, and just now we are referred to the various foundry processes, and now we are coming to the digitization. uh, the digitization ultimately leads to the industry 4.0. What we look forward to match up the foundry activities with the other engineering industry, and and as we have reviewed the several foundry processes, that each of the foundry process has got the several process parameters. Say your mold making process, it has got its own process parameters. Melting process, it has got the right from melt chemistry to pouring temperature, so many variety of process parameters. Or and all these process parameters, they interact with each other, and then ultimately the result is produced and the casting is been made. And at the end of the day, you look at the casting and decide whether it is conforming to the requirement or not conforming to the requirement, and you go back to the process parameters.
Okay.
But unless and until now you have the real-time data uh, for analysis, it's very difficult to get the proper solution. As usually, they go with the sixth sense or whatever the people they feel of it, and they take the remedies. But that's not the real way of doing this. And I'm happy to say that today the foundry persons or the foundrymen, practicing foundrymen have realized this, and they want to tend to get the digitized data or the real-time data, you can say, because as you have the real-time data, you have rather you can have the good predictions, or you can get the right and proper corrective actions. And because the real-time data and the real-time result, and whatever the result is obtained, it's is checked with interface of each other, and then it gives you the solution. And to have that, the people are now thinking of the real-time data, and that's thought process is a step towards the digitization. Because if you have to have the real-time data and analyze it, and to have the online solutions, you need to have the digitized data. Now I'm happy to say that the people have certainly understood the importance of it, and they're approaching to get the processes with the digitized data. Rather, that's the way forward, and people are working towards that. So far, at at some pockets, some foundries have achieved this. Some foundries they have the online energy data, the real-time energy data, you can say, but or some foundries then have the melting process data on the melt platform. What is happening? They have got the real-time data available with them. Some foundries, they have the data for the molding parameters or the molding sand parameters, we can say, and they try to connect it to the results what they have obtained. So this is happening in bits and pieces. Now we our NCTS, our center or myself personally, we are certainly interested in promoting this top of digitization of all the process parameters and collecting the data on a real-time basis and relating it to the result obtained. So that will that will be a step toward the zero defect manufacturing and a step towards industry 4.0.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. In fact, Metal World also did a conference last year to promote and
Yeah.
spread the awareness of Industry 4.0 in foundry industry, and it was
Yeah.
very well
Yeah.
responded
Yeah.
by the foundry people. So I feel more
Yes, sir.
and
Yes,
more
sir.
foundries will come forward for digitization and
Yeah.
implementation of various modules of Industry 4.0,
Right.
and they will
Right.
definitely benefit out of that. Sir,
Right. Right. Right.
last question. I cannot escape from this question. What is the present status of foundry industry on the backdrop of COVID-19, and how you see the future of foundry?
Uh, okay. Can I take some review of some processes and what is the advent of technology in these processes?
Yeah, yeah. Why not? Please, sir.
Because before we go for that, as usual, we know that if you consider the first and foremost process is the methoding, and the methoding is now you have got a variety of simulation softwares available to you.
Hmm.
So, if you're a designer of a casting, you can opt for a different kind of specialized softwares, or you just want to produce the casting out of the given drawing, you have the different kind of softwares available with you. So you have the
Mhm.
choice, and you can get the proper simulation software.
Hmm.
So your code time or your action becomes a fast, it becomes accelerated, and even the response time is very short to respond to the customer, and in turn the customer becomes happy if you have this kind of thing, simulation software. This is a good advantage. And then about a decade before, it was introduced in a big way, and now almost all the foundries are aware of it, but very few are taking advantage of it. So, brother, I request all my foundrymen brethren to get into the simulation software for each and every, and this could be a ongoing process. So you can check with the yield, whatever you are getting out of those casting every time with the simulation software, and you can improvise consistently. Exception that the high pressure molding lines, they are good. Pattern changing facility has come down to a minute. So you can certainly make it for the batch quantities. And now even the mechanism or the these molding machines have been developed for the batch quantities. That is also possible. That is a new technology advantage. So people should think of it before they decide on the job, what molding process they should apply to that. They should take a review of all these facilities available to them. And as usual, we know that only the big debate what I want to rather highlight on here is that for the batch quantities, some people, whether it is a steel or a CI or the DI, they prefer the Novec castings or to sodium silicate, CO2 sodium silicate process. But my contention is that when you think of any process in the foundry and you look at the best of the technologies available, we have to always keep in mind the environmental factor of it. And I strongly recommend a closed loop foundry. I mean with a closed loop is that your all foundry processes and then ultimately recycling of every raw material whatever been used or it has gone into the process. And the major raw material which goes into that and which doesn't get consumed is the sand. So when you think of a foundry, you should think of making a casting and recycling of a sand also. And for that aspect, I think this furon-based resins or say Novec foundries or the shell are the best processes. And even for the green sand, the clusters are there. They can have the green sand cycling facilities available to the members. So, but the psyche of the foundation should change that they are not only produce the casting, but they need to also change uh, to the closed loop factors. I mean, they should see that the environment is also taken care. And then when you think of the especially melting process, when you think of a melting process, then you need the real-time real-time energy auditing system, energy monitoring system, which is related to the production output. So you can monitor the specific energy consumption continuously, and you can make the corrective actions on the spot at that moment when it is getting wrong, and that will help for the improvising of their energy efficiency. And then the latest into that is auto power. But now auto powers are also there in practice in so many large foundries. And there is one more advantage I can like to quote, that there is a plasma arc available. So the temperature of a metal bath is maintained in the auto power, which is maybe like an arc furnace, what they say popular as the plasma arc, and that advantage is very useful, and that is also energy efficient because that consumes less energy than your usual induction melting. So, but that cannot be used at this stage for the melting totally, but to maintain for the sustaining of the temperature, that facility is available. And then the last process, what you can say, not last, but the last but one is the fettling. And fettling also, the CNC grinding or the CNC fettling has come. It has made a very good advantage to that. And that is programmable, even for the small batch quantities, as we have said for the high pressure molding lines. Similarly, for the fettlings, the CNC grinders are available and they could be programmed for the batch quantities. They can have the pallet change for the 25 pieces or 30 pieces or 50 pieces. I mean, that is very much possible. And then that's to the ratio of a foundryman before investment. So even if you are a jobbing foundry, you can think of all these advantages in that. And the last, as I said, the conformance of a casting made. So far, so good. The CMM is the thing what foundrymen are now acquainted with. But I can bring their attention to the 3D scanners. 3D scanners is definitely to the advantage of a foundryman. 3D scanners, they give all the details of a casting, all the performance of a casting. You can store them, you can store the images. You can take the machine to the job. You need not, if it is a heavy job, you need not bring it on your table. It can reach the you can do this 3D scanning there wherever the job is there, and moreover that gives you the exact dimensional accuracy of everything whatever there in the casting, including the cavities and all, and that could be passed on directly in a 3D form. It could be passed on to the customer. You did not have any intermediate media. That could be stored on the cloud, and then the the customer rapport could be very well developed. The customer directly interact, and both of you and yourself and the customer, they got the same images in front of you, and you can discuss and take. And this is most important development I can say for the foundry industry as such. And and as I said, this 3D scanners, you can integrate them to any ERP solution or maybe any your process softwares, whatever is available that. Because as I referred earlier to the various process parameters and the process softwares available to manage and monitor them, what you need for the industry 4.0 is the integration of all this information, whatever you have got available. Digitized information available with you, and that interaction of all this information available with you, that is related to the results, and that will make your life comfortable. And this 3D scanning will be certainly useful. It could be an interface to all this kind of digitization. So I think these are the kind of advanced, and the details could be studied, details could be discussed with the various vendors, various technologies. They can approach to our offices, anybody, any party interested, they can approach to our offices. We can have the very good deliberations on all the aspects, and these all will be needed for the foundryman, because post-COVID, the scenario is going to change. Totally, the scenario is going to change for the business perspective. The people demands will be different, and then for that you have to tune up yourself. And to tune up yourself, you have to take a stock of each and every aspect of the technology development, and you need to accelerate the efforts to employ all these developments.
Yeah, sure, sir. I am very sure that adopting these new and latest technologies will increase the working efficiency of the foundry, and they should
Yeah.
take maximum advantage of it. Now, sir, my last question: what is the
Yeah.
present situation of foundries and how they can come out of the present chaos or rather
Okay.
crisis?
The present situation as such, as everybody knows in the market, that the vendors supplying to the tractor industries, they are very comfortable positions. Their order books are very good, very well filled, and they are making efforts to tune up to their vendor, their customers' requirement. Of course, there are problems. As you said, there the labor is a major problem, and on and off working because of the lockdowns at various places. That is again a major hindrance. But we all pray to the God that this hindrance will go away at earliest, and the life becomes comfortable with the founderman. Having said this, I'm sure because of this COVID, there are some blessing in the disguise. I can say that the people psyche is changing, the demands are changing, the consumer psyche is changing. Because earlier, the foundry industry was worried what will happen to the vehicle industry, whether people will act for the share a taxi or they will not like to buy the car at all. That was the conception. But with the requirement of today, the people are forcing that all these concepts will vanish, and will like to prefer their own individual car. They will not like to share
Yeah.
for the obvious reasons what we are suffering as on date.
Yeah.
So I hope that there will be a different market available to the things. And as you see, the infrastructure developments are going on because the government of India is very much keen to accelerate the economy as fast as possible to put the economy on the proper route. They will facilitate the industry very well, and infrastructure development will also take place. Railways have already come up. Today, the foundries or the vendors supplying to the railways, they are also doing well, and they will still do better once the COVID era is over. Overall, I found out because of the good monsoon, the agriculture industry is doing well. So naturally, the pumps and all those will do well. So rather, uh, my request or to the founderman is that keep some patience. I'm sure that there will be a cheerful era, and all this finance, whatever you have done for last 4 5 months, that will fructify it, and you will have a very good business.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. It was a very nice talking to you, and we have understood that the technology has a very big role to play in the coming months and coming days. And thanks very much for the conversation, sir. Uh,
It is
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, it is my pleasure. It is always my pleasure to interact with the founderman and reputed persons like you. Thank you very much for giving my opportunity to share my views. Thank you a
Thank
lot.
you, sir. Thank you. So this was Mr. Arjun Wadkar. He was hoping that the foundry industry can have a better days ahead, and with different mindset, they can have different markets also. He was very much firm that the technology is going to play a major role in the future and in increasing the efficiency and increasing the working efficiency of the foundries. With this note, we come to the end of this conversation. Thank you very much.